Okay. So what we're going to do now? Wait, why did it stop?
Why does YouTube keep? Why is it?
So what we it looked like this, right?
Wait, this music is live?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a radio. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. What I want you guys to do is go to Options, Configure Idle,
What's different about this?
and let's see here. Go to General.
Where's options? Where's general?
It's in Python. It's in Python.
So here's what's going to happen.
On the Google side.
Body of the
On general.
How do I get?
You guys scroll down.
is repeatedly going to get run over and over and over and over
Okay, see it?
while that condition stays.
Okay, go down to Python.
I know.
So you want to go, here I'll show you, up here, Options,
So check this out.
Configure Idle,
From 1 to 3,000.
General, and you see this row right here at Startup, go to Open Edit Window,
Wait, what after options?
What's going to start at?
General, Open Edit Window.
Now, what's going to be our condition here?
That's right where I clicked.
Want to try someone else? Is that
Configuration.
No, go to
So go to options. Oh yeah, so here, turn that first one from open show windows to open edit windows.
Yeah.
Configure idle and then open edit window.
Yeah, open edit window. Click that.
Edit.
I'll leave it like that until he's ready for this.
Okay.
I can't believe we built this from scratch.
Okay. So once you do that, push Apply, and OK. Close out of Idle, and open it again.
So open Python again.
Yeah.
I'm clicking apply, but it does not work.
I promise it works.
Wait, apply?
Yep, push Apply, and then push OK, and then close.
Then just go back and close the actual
Yep.
thing.
Yeah, close the whole program.
But it's not different. I mean, yes, it is different.
Yeah. So now whenever you run idle, or Python, it's just going to give you a blank text editor. This is called edit mode. You're going to be editing Python scripts now. Now, Python scripts are files with a bunch of Python commands, Python lines, and it runs them all at once. You don't have to type each line every time you want to do something.
It was just being slow.
No, I pressed X when I did it the right way. So once it said untitled, when you're supposed to have it on, I actually
Oh, hey, you open this. Click on this down here. That's why it was slow. So we're going to go ahead and say L. I'm going to change the font for you guys so you can see it a little bit better.
Capital?
What?
Capital L?
Capital L, lowercase l, doesn't matter as long as you keep it the same.
Do I need to do anything else here?
L space space space.
doesn't have to be something,
What?
but it's some file itself.
Good.
So pop it off. No, you just pop it off. Oh, okay.
0, 0, 0, 0, right?
Well, yeah, the super fields.
Okay.
Well, you should fill it when it's actually working. It feels weird. It's like,
We don't realize. The repairs.
is that so L?
Daniel, Damon.
Pretty obvious.
Okay, and Jamie, can you hear me okay?
You see that thing never changing? No, it's always the same.
Hey, Seth.
Now we need to start
What you doing? Okay. Celeste and Jamie, why don't you guys actually come to this computer over here? One of those two. Just so you can be closer and hear better, okay?
Oh no.
Oh boy. We'll take care of it later.
I know I
No,
already did.
the keyboard is USB. This is the power button.
Oh, it just didn't power button?
Yeah.
Is this the power
Oh,
Look,
mine is so hard.
that part's already plugged in. You gotta get it plugged into that, so you'll have to pop the top. Which is why we'll do it later. Okay.
It actually is working.
So, what we're gonna do is we'll go to File. Hey, guys, pay attention. We're gonna go to File, Save. And I'm gonna save it under dowalk.py. You guys put your file wherever you'd like it.
So just L?
When we press file, then what?
Save.
Okay, so
Okay, first save now.
That's the divide sign.
What?
Put it under.
Just put it wherever you want, just as long as you can remember it.
I'm gonna put it in this box.
Good idea.
wait, I saved it, but now yeah, this is what that's
You haven't saved it yet. The save dialog is right there.
okay.
Okay, once everyone we press save.
Type in a file name.
I'm gonna press.
Just anything.
And your file name needs to end in .py. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Wait, say it again.
It needs to end in .py. The file name,
Yeah.
it needs to end with .py. PY.
So,
Alright.
Press
Let's
save.
try someone else.
Save.
What do you think?
Yeah, save.
What do you think number?
Done and
and no
done.
spaces.
No, don't use spaces.
Wait, I do spaces.
It's okay, just try not to in the future.
Wait, it has to end .py.
What?
When you each put your stuff in the top.
What's that?
How do I change it?
Okay.
What do you mean?
So what do you?
Do save as. If you didn't save your file correctly, you can go to File, Save As, and it'll work.
And then what?
What do you mean, and then what?
And then
And then you push save.
What would you guys say all together? What is
Yeah, mine.
No,
what's my top?
What is
What is my top?
I'm not actually sure.
it's just, it's still here. I know what it
I
is.
know. It's supposed to be there.
Back there all together.
I get that room. I get that room.
What? So programming that is not.
I did save.
Yeah. No, don't cancel it. Just keep it safe.
I know.
And now my top is. Oh, yours will be going out.
Okay.
That's
Celeste, is your computer ready?
I don't have you.
Oh,
Okay.
Sega's TV.
Okay, I need side conversations to stop now.
Okay, no good.
So, you notice how this line starts with a hashtag?
Yeah.
That means it is a comment. Anything to the right of a hashtag is a comment. Okay? So, I could say print yada. Hashtag outputs yada to the screen. Now, what a comment means is that it's not actually code anymore. It's just something that Python reads for you to take notes, basically. Okay? Everybody good with that? No. A comment is just like notes that a programmer makes so that they can read it later. Are you guys able to hear me okay? Is it because of the music or because of what's over there?
Probably just being over here.
Huh?
Probably just being over here. And then voice it back there.
Okay.
What is 3 mod 2 going to give us?
Okay.
What is 4 mod 2?
So, Comments are just notes for programmers. They're very useful. Get in the habit of taking notes on your programs. Okay? So we're going to make a list. 0, 4, beep.
How many times does 5 do?
0, 5, 8, what does that mean?
What's 6 do?
Okay. Well, what do the square brackets mean? It's a list. Okay? So how many items do we have in our list?
4.
4. What are the items, Celeste?
0, 5, 8, and boot.
There you go. Remind me to get more tickets later for you guys.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird.
Wait, are we supposed to write that down? Are we supposed to?
Okay.
I'm writing it down.
I mean, you guys can put whatever you want inside your list. What do you mean it's weird?
So, I
28
want
mod
to
5.
do this, and I this app. Do this.
It'd be 3. Oh, how many times is 5
Go turn caps off.
There's
There you
5, 10, 15, 20.
How did you get that thing?
What's the remainder?
No, I'm saying
on top of the.
Do you know
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying no. So I want to put these
Remember that's tomorrow.
and this app.
Alright, so that's
Did you ever change your keyboard layout
again,
to US?
asterisk divided to be backslash. Mod is percent.
Let me have a look here. It wasn't doing this before?
So let's say we have a
I like this one. This is just fine for me. It is the US one.
How do I add 1 to
Me
A?
and you did something.
It's actually not as simple. Okay, that's how you would do it if you.
Come on.
That's awesome. I'm gonna get to that one in just a second. Let's say. Okay, so you guys remember what this thing's called?
You had it as the UK layout.
Alright.
Also known as stuff operator. Okay. So let's say I want to make A equal to 1 greater than it itself. That means I need to stuff a new value in A, right? So I'm going to put these aside. So what value can I put on the right that is 1 greater than A? I'm going to let someone else have A plus 1, so I can do this. Right, so now this is really important that you understand this. This is actually a little bit more complex than you think. Because what's happening here is a variable is using its own values and it's changing its own value. Okay?
Oh, there it is.
It was like this, and then you just write it down.
Also figure out that's the reason.
No. Not Spanish.
So 5 at this time. I was going to say, okay, take 5 plus 1,
This
and then stuff that into
like
A. A is now equal to.
That's not the comma.
So now let me ask
That's
you
the
this.
comma.
Let's come down to our loop here.
I get totally
How do I make
confused
them go
between
up?
those two.
Someone give me a hint.
Name it, bruh. Name
Okay.
it.
Why does it charge you?
Okay, you're good to go now. Okay. So, does everybody have a list?
Wait, I'm almost done.
Okay.
So you said I could change the
Yeah.
list too?
Yeah, if you want, you can have something else in your list. It's fine.
All that hard work we would have had it done right. All
That
those
was
things.
almost the same as yours.
You know how many lines that would take?
They have
3,000 lines of code.
Yeah, I changed the font on mine.
Wait, so that's a 1 or an L?
That's an L.
Oh, great.
And instead of that,
Yeah, so variable names
we're done.
cannot start with a number. They can only start with a
4
letter.
lines of code to write 3,000 lines.
Beep boop.
You need to make something go up by 1 equals that. What?
Okay, do you have your list?
Awesome thing.
Okay. Do you have your list?
Programmers are lazy.
Okay. And just as a future reference, all text needs to be in quotes.
So programmers
And if you want to type a quote inside your text, okay,
we're always having to have
you type a backslash like this, and then a quote. That's all good.
Say you want to go
Right.
from 7 and add on 3 to 7.
Alright,
Normally you'd have to do
let's
8
quit humming
But instead they
and
mentioned
singing.
3 and
Alright, so
it looks like this.
we have a for loop. We have
These 2 lines are exactly the same.
Okay.
What plus equals?
So, how many times is this code going to run? Raise your hands.
Programs are lazy. You just have the second one shorter. Like, yeah, it's just make it like that.
Daniel? One time? Ben, what were you going to say?
Yeah, we also have
4 times? Did you have your hand up, Seth?
I think 4 times.
4 times?
2 times.
2 times? Why did you say 2 times?
You also have
Because you
this.
have a 0 and a 5.
How will a beep and a boop?
You also have this.
Oh, how many items do we have in our list?
Oh, 4.
4, so it's going to run 4 times.
Good.
Good. Good, you guys all got that right. Alright, so I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to push F5. Alright, what F5 does is it runs the program.
This is just shorthand.
Oh, well, hang on. You see there? It output the list because that's what I said in the print statement.
Programs are lazy.
Now if I come in here and type var name
Let's go back to our
instead,
loop down here, right?
then it outputs all the things in my list. Is everybody following this? Good? Anybody having some trouble? Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit big because like
You want to change the font size bigger?
I just want to do this.
Can I like make the space smaller so the letters are bigger, or do I have
Just
to
gonna
make
put a plus like that, and that's it.
You can change the font size on PyTalk.
Okay, looks like it's now wait, the last thing we need
If you'd like later today,
so Python will let you go
I can help you with that. But to change your font size in Python, just so you can read it, the code you're writing, go to Options and Settings, and you can change your font size right here.
options then wait, fiddle configure idle
Yeah.
21 sticks.
and then what do I do after this?
And then you click on this right here, and you choose a different number that's bigger.
That's the time.
That's it. Yeah, same. 0, 5.
But still, oh, that's so much better.
What's that? Okay. So, the way for loops work is you say for something in something else. Hang on. Okay. So this part, after in, that is an iterable. There are many kinds of iterables. For now, we're only going to use lists. And then this is a variable that is each item inside your iterable. So in this case, var name is each item inside our list. Okay? You're asking what this part right here at the end is? Right there? That's your iterable. That's your iterable. And in this case, the iterable is L, which is the name of list variable.
What do we press to make the code run?
F5.
After in is it I or
That's an L. I'm gonna have to find a better font so you guys can read it a bit easier. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say if equals 5. Okay. Now, how many times do you guys think this code is going to run?
Well, guess what?
Yeah. Once? Okay. Any other guesses?
yes.
Once?
Because there's only one. Wait.
What are you going to say, Ruben?
What's that? Yeah.
5.
You wanna play?
5?
I mean one time.
One time. Why do you guys think it runs one time?
Because there's only one 5.
Because there's only one 5. Okay. Now, in programming, if you see one equal sign, you are setting a variable. Okay? If you see 2 equal signs, that means you're checking to see if 2 things are already equal to each other. So up here we assign this list into our variable L. Right here we're seeing if var name is already equal to 5. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah? Lewis, does that make sense?
Why
Is
is there two equal signs?
Because if we have one equal sign, we're setting a variable. If there's two equal signs, we're checking it. Okay, Celeste, I saw your hand up. Did you have a question?
No.
No? Did I already answer it? Okay. Cool. So you're right. That code will run one time and one time only.
How do you make the print red?
It should turn red on its own, or purple on its own, or something. What do you have to actually type it.
I know.
I think you need to put here after your colon and then push enter. At the end of your colon. And then push enter. And then start typing. Oh, you got your person mixed up. Okay. What's up? Well, that's no good.
Remember, 50 tickets for comedians. It's 50.
Well, my friend, I believe your computer's froze. Oh. Let's try this again. What's up? Okay. Since yours is being weird, why don't you go ahead and follow along on this
Okay, guys. So you're gonna get a chance to play this still. You're gonna actually run program.
and just type in idle.
So
Just ignore it.
So the way that this game works is there are multiple
No, just type it.
right?
No, idle.
What if you think
Starts with an E. I.
So it should be
There you
visible for your team.
Okay. So, alright, everybody, go ahead and pay attention again. So we have an if statement here, and you're right, this code only runs once. Now, there's something else. What if var name is not equal to 5? Okay? Now we're going to do something called an else statement. Okay? Then we're going to delete this line right here.
So it's going to keep running the code over and over until there aren't any six.
Okay.
The game's going to keep going until there aren't any six. Does that make sense? One more time? You're the one that did that. Because you are crazy. I'm crazy, but if we play one more time, that easily get
And what line was
That one.
So go to options. Click go to 10. With 10.
Oh, I don't know.
Put it to 18. That's the best one. That's for my settings. Fine, okay.
You should take the
Fine, okay.
jar. Inside of the jar,
You should take the plastic one. Nice.
so we're not going to
Me and the third one.
don't want to.
Less player choose a number instead of take away that number.
I don't even know. I'm doing this. Darn. What's happening here?
What do we need to keep track of? Six. Yeah. This is very slow. What do you mean?
I know, it's another ad. Shoot it. Shoot the ad down.
Okay. So now, hey, everybody, pay attention. Pay attention. Okay. So what happens is whenever this is false, okay, instead of running this, it will run this code. Okay. So how many times do you think this code is going to run? Raise your hand. Everybody, just show me with your fingers. I see a 3. I see a 1. I need to see everybody's fingers. I can see that, Damon. 3 or 4? 3? Okay. You see a 1? Jamie, you think it's 1? What about you, Ben? You have no idea? Okay. What do you think? Also, if it's easier, you can just look at the screen. This one.
What are you going with, Daniel?
So you don't have to.
No.
1. So I see 2 3s, 4 1s. Where are you going with, Daniel? 1. So 5 1s and 2 3s.
Why would it be 1, 3?
Why are the threes being outlaws?
Okay. So let's go this 1. Oh, what were you going to say, Celeste? 1. Okay. So let's go through this one at a time. The first time all of this happens, what value is in this?
4. Oh, 5.
Look at the list. So first time this runs, what value is this? That's not what I'm asking. That's how many items are in the list. 0, good. Okay, so does 0 equal 5? No. So does this run? No. Does this run?
Yes.
Okay. What about the next time? What does var name equal? 5. Good. Does 5 equal 5?
Yes.
Yes. Does this run?
Yes.
Does this run? No. Okay. So this has gone once and this has gone once. What about next time? What is var name? Beep. Does beep equal 5?
No.
No. Okay. So does this run? No. Does this run?
Yes.
Okay. So how many times does this run? Twice. How many times does this one? Once.
Yeah, once.
Okay. Okay, what's the next time? Boop. Does boop equal 5?
No.
No. Then, what are you talking about? So does this run?
No.
No. Does this run?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this one ran 3 times and this one ran 1 time. Does everybody understand why that happened the way it did? No? Yeah. You bet. Absolutely.
Well, it's because 3. So when it goes through, there's 3 values that don't equal 5 and only 1 that equals 5. So it's 3. So 3 of the 4 would run that, the top one. So 3 of them would run that bottom one. Pretty much.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for explaining it.
Okay. Good. Does anybody have any questions? No? Celeste, are you good?
So when this statement is true, will we run this code?
You need to...
As long as this is greater than 0, we're going to just keep running the code.
This one, you typed var name and right there you used an E. So you have to make sure your variables are spelled the same. See, I have 1 with E and 2 with E and 1 with A. That's, oh, this one is var name. There. Now you're cooking the bacon. Okay, so we've done if statements and we've done for loops. We're going to do something else called a while loop. Okay?
Very first thing you did was you looked at the board.
So, a while loop is another kind of loop, and what it does is it runs kind of like an if statement. So, after you type while, you give it a Boolean value that's either true or false. If it's true, the stuff inside the while loop runs. If it is false, the stuff inside the while loop does not run, and it just goes to the next section of code. Everybody good so far? Okay. While 5 is greater than 4. Okay. Everybody. So real quick. Now, after it runs all this code, okay, it comes back up here, and it checks this again. And if it is still true, then it happens again. So basically, while this is true, it runs this code. Everybody following? Sweet. So, how many times do you think this code is going to run? Forever? Any other guesses? Celeste?
Now you choose how many you want to say.
How many times do you think that code will run? Do you want me to angle the TV a bit for you? Okay, that's fine. Do you have an idea, Jamie? Forever? What about you, Ben? What do you think? Forever? Well, Daniel just figured it out. You think it's forever? Okay, so the reason it's forever is 5 ever not greater than 4? No. So that will always be true. And so while that is true, it's going to run that code. So now we're going to do something else instead. So you can find out how many items are inside a list by typing len, which is short for length, parentheses, L, which is the name of your list. So while the length of L is greater than 0, so that means while there are more than 0 items inside your list, we're going to run this code. Okay? So how many times do you think this is going to run? Show of hands if you think it's 0. Show of hands if you think it's something else.
What's the question?
How many times do you think that code will run?
I put
Remember, LEN is short for length, and that tells you how many items are inside your list. Well, right now, if we just type LEN of L, that will give you 4. Okay, so how many times do you think that code will run? Forever?
Until you change.
Yeah, probably.
Until you change L.
Until we change L?
Until you change the L.
There you go.
Because it's always greater than 0, so it's always going. You go.
Right. Now, we are going to change something, though.
It's fine.
L.
Hey, look, you're wrong. You can't take that.
Arithmetic error.
Wait, that.
Yeah.
Is that a god?
Oh, what's happening here?
Supposed to put PY. Let's stop. Forget that.
What's that?
And what?
Okay. So now, we're going to use a new method on our list. Remember, before we used .append in order to add an item to your list. Now we're going to do something called .pop. Now what pop does is it takes the first item in your list, it removes it from your list, and then it returns that value. So we could say x equals our list.pop. Remember, this takes the first item in our list, and then it's going to store it inside x. Okay? Now we're going to print x. Alright? And I'm going to run this. And what do you think is going to show up on the screen?
Nothing.
Nothing? You think nothing's going to show up on the screen?
I actually do think nothing.
Okay. Any other ideas?
X.
X? You think X will show up on the screen?
Nothing.
Okay. Any other ideas? You're supposed to be typing it with me.
I want to press.
You want to push F5? I know. Okay. Let me know once you all have typed it.
I typed it.
What did I type?
Literally my version of yours.
And then it's open and close parentheses.
What's happening?
We are learning. That's what's happening.
Oh!
Brain's going crazy.
Okay.
If you were able to beat me.
So, any ideas of what's going to show up on the screen for that section of code?
Wait, didn't you say like L pop is like the list and you put numbers?
So,
Pop stand for.
it's just pop. It doesn't stand for anything.
The L is basically what's in there. So X equals L.
What is L? Tell me what L is.
The list of those numbers. So when did it just show the numbers? Those numbers?
So, what does pop do? Okay, so what pop does, again, takes the first item in our list, removes it from the list, and in here, it's going to store it